Now, the Sussexes have copped it from comedian Colin Jost on Saturday Night Live. He's joked that one of the conditions of Trump's new trade deal with the UK is that Harry and Meghan have to go back. It's pretty cruel, Kinsey.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! I refuse! I'm sick of it! Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
See, I didn't know who H was. At the time, I just loved his Insta feed. And, you know, I was living in the middle of nowhere in Toronto, Canada, and I didn't even really know the word royal. I mean, besides the Lord song, I love that song. It's an amazing pop rock ballad.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
The irony is earth-shattering, isn't it? Harry and Meghan are the Duke and Duchess of gaslighting themselves. The entire show is a cynical attempt to manipulate viewers into questioning their own recollections of reality. And if we learned anything at all from the first 3 hours of this $100 million wine-a-thon, it's surely that this dismal duo wouldn't know the truth if it smacked them around their smug chops.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people want to know. The American hussies he's hooked up with. She's come to turn him into a Kardashian. That little American hussy has ruined my prince. Oh my God, I can't even. These two, Meghan and Harry, are the worst.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have officially completed their transformation from royal rebels to full-blown pop culture punchlines. It's not just that people have stopped taking them seriously, it's that they've become the joke. The kind of joke that late-night comedians, cartoon writers, stand-up comics, and the internet meme machine have on speed dial. Imagine fleeing the palaces of Buckingham to find your voice, only to discover the only voice people want to hear are the voices that are mocking you. It all began with one seemingly harmless joke. SNL's Colin Jost co-anchor stood in front of America and dropped a truth bomb so casually it felt like a gut punch in a velvet glove. He described Meghan as a shallow celebrity and Harry as a guy who lives with his grandma and doesn't have a job. It was cold, it was direct, it was devastating. But most importantly, it landed.
Earlier today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
It struck a chord with viewers because deep down, everyone was starting to see the cracks. Meghan's image as a misunderstood, trailblazing humanitarian didn't hold up next to her relentless need to be in front of a camera. Harry's whole poor me narrative felt more like a bad reality show than a tragedy. That joke didn't just entertain, it flipped the cultural switch. And once late night got the green light to roast, the whole industry followed like wolves on a royal buffet. The floodgates opened. Jimmy Kimmel jumped in almost immediately, and then he dismantled their entire escape story. They left the UK to flee racism by moving to America. Wow, the irony writes itself.
Racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism.
Jimmy Fallon mocked their Netflix cooking documentary as a $100 million therapy session that's confusing.
Switching gears, Meghan Markle just announced her new lifestyle brand called As Ever, which is a little confusing because it used to be called American Riviera Orchard. This is true. And before that, it was called The Tig. Yes, confusing. but it's like, it's like food, beauty, wellness, home decor. This is branding, life branding stuff. So we understand it can be hard to name your brand. Do you guys see this? Meghan Markle announced that her As Ever product line sold out in under an hour. It's strange when you marry a prince and you're the breadwinner of the family. Meghan was excited while Prince Harry was like, what the hell am I going to do with 3,000 cases of wildflower honey?
But what made this barrage even more lethal was that none of it felt like bullying. It felt earned. These weren't cheap shots. They were reflections of how wildly detached Harry and Meghan had become from the people they claimed to represent. Their pleas for privacy while producing endless public content made them look like performance artists lost in their own script. And once comedians smell hypocrisy, that's a green light. Now don't forget to like and subscribe because let's face it, I'm nothing without your support. Now back to the tea. And then came the heavy artillery, stand-up comics. Chris Rock stood on stage and tore into Meghan's "How could I know the royal family was racist" speech like a hyena. "You didn't Google these people?" he mocked. "They're the original racists." And the crowd broke out in laughter. His set went viral.
I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
Tim Dillon called them two of the most insufferable people on planet Earth, adding that their entire brand was built around being professionally offended.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not white.
Ricky Gervais, never one to hold back, compared Meghan's plight to a billionaire influencer pretending she's oppressed because someone once asked her what her baby's skin tone would be. And in typical Ricky fashion, he made it clear that he didn't buy a second of their victim narrative. What made this different from political satire or royal bashing of the past is that these comedians weren't critiquing systems, they were going after character. Meghan and Harry had crossed into territory reserved for the truly cringe. They became comedy archetypes, and that's not a good look for your image.
Once at a gig, the back was Harry and William, Madonna and Paul McCartney. Not one of them paid.
What made this different from political satire or royal bashing of the past is that these comedians weren't critiquing systems. They were going after character. Meghan and Harry had crossed into territory reserved for the truly cringe. They became comedy archetypes, and that's a death sentence for your image. When South Park gets involved, it's game over. Their infamous worldwide privacy tour episode painted Harry and Meghan as cartoon clowns traveling around the world demanding to be left alone, while shouting, "Look at us!"
We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great. So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family. You've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Where? Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family like stupid and then so are like journalists. So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist. We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard.
And Prince now dipping his arms into the pudding, as is tradition. Princess will of course scrape the pudding off the princess's arms, thus symbolizing their union. What a glorious day for our country and indeed the world.
And now, of course, wait a minute. What's this? Oh, something is going terribly wrong.
The Abbey is shaking violently as explosions abound. The top of the Abbey is collapsing. The prince and the princess look on in horror. This is not the tradition. This is not tradition at all. Bright beam of light shooting through the hole in the ceiling. The princess now in some kind of isometric cube. This is certainly breaking with tradition now.
The portrayal wasn't subtle. It was savage. Meghan was reimagined as a shrieking narcissist obsessed with victimhood, and Harry as a spineless lapdog, clinging to relevance by parroting her every word. Even worse, the episode wasn't just funny, it was disturbingly accurate. The characters' hypocrisy mirrored real-life headlines almost word for word. It hit so hard that royal insiders reportedly said Meghan was upset and overwhelmed. No kidding. Family Guy followed suit. In one episode, the couple was shown lounging in a golden palace whining about privacy while literally doing an Insta post for tacos.
Do you know what a reverse mortgage is?
Nearest I can figure, it's a loan that enables the borrower to access the unencumbered value of their property.
That sounds kind of slick.
Well, the rub is, if you can't pay it back, they can snatch your abode. That strikes me as predatory.
Why would Tom do this?
He should know better. You see, having a mustache is a sacred oath.
I have a mustache.
I'm proud of you.
He can't do this to people. I am going to track him down and get the money back. Mr. Mayor, you're coming with me.
Oh, I'm afraid those days are behind me. But I wish you the best of luck.
That's fine. I'll go it alone. Just like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
Subtlety has left the chat, but that's what happens when your entire brand is built on contradictions. When even cartoons can accurately roast your entire personality in under 10 minutes, it's not satire, it's a mirror. Here's where things get dark. For years, the media was in love with Meghan and Harry's story. Brave, bold, breaking the royal mold. But once the Netflix series dropped and the public started gagging on the overproduced, overscripted melodrama, the very same media outlets turned vicious. Was it a genuine shift in values? Or was the media simply cashing in, first on sympathy, then on scandal? Insiders say it was all about metrics. Meghan's victimhood narrative drew traffic at first, but when audiences got tired of the endless contradictions, the press pivoted. Overnight, they went from poor Meghan to Meghan the manipulator. Publicist leaks, sources close to the palace, anonymous royal insiders, all suspiciously well-timed. It reeks of coordinated backlash. And here's the kicker. Some believe this was always the plan. Build them up, tear them down, milk both ends for clicks. Meghan and Harry, once the media darlings, became sacrificial lambs on the altar of digital engagement. And the worst part? They played right into it. Let's get real. These two are the poster children for saying one thing and doing another. Privacy? Here's a 6-part docuseries about our trauma. Financial independence? Here's a $20 million Spotify deal to talk about wellness. Escaping the UK to avoid toxic tabloids? Let's pose for paparazzi in Montecito and drop a memoir with more family secrets than a reality show reunion. And don't get us started on the lifestyle. Private jets, ocean view mansions, couture outfits. But somehow, we're expected to believe they're victims of what exactly? Too much attention? Not enough adoration? Even Meghan's most loyal fans started asking questions when palace staffers leaked allegations of bullying. How do you reconcile that with her brand of compassion and kindness? You can't. Because at a certain point, no amount of yoga, avocado toast, or word salad speeches can cover up the simple fact. The persona doesn't match the behavior. Is there a comeback from this level of cultural mockery? Maybe in theory, but it would take a full-scale rebrand, a public apology tour, and the one thing they've consistently failed to deliver: humility. Harry and Meghan didn't just lose public sympathy. They burned it to the ground and danced in the ashes. They became symbols not of progress, but of the narcissistic elite masquerading as oppressed heroes. And the internet doesn't forget. Every meme, every clip, every satirical cartoon has sealed their fate. They're no longer perceived as victims. They're the architects of their own downfall. And unless they do the one thing they seem constitutionally incapable of, shutting up and living privately, this cycle will keep repeating. From hopeful disruptors to Hollywood cautionary tales, Meghan and Harry's story is no longer about escape from the crown. It's about a full-blown collapse into self-parody. They had the world's sympathy. They had influence, attention, and even a chance to reshape the monarchy's image. But they threw it all away. For fame, for money, for control of the narrative. And now that narrative has turned on them. Because the truth always does. So was this a royal tragedy, or just a really expensive reality show gone off the rails? You decide, but one thing's for sure, this royal circus isn't packing up anytime soon. Subscribe now, because if there's one thing Meghan and Harry excel at, it's giving us endless reasons to tune in for the next episode of their very public unraveling. Also like and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed my content, feel free to check out some of my other videos on the top of the screen. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.